let's move on to our playoff pictures, y'all. So me and the fellas, we put together our playoff pictures going into this year. We're gonna give y'all a playoff picture, then our championship round, and then our Super Bowl and our Super Bowl winner going into the 2025 NFL season. Man, football is on Thursday, man. Football's on Thursday. Y'all dead over there. We need to wake up. We need to get live. All right. Football is back, man. About time. Basketball is gone. Good riddance.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Whoa, watch your mouth.
All right, Rell, go ahead and let me know your playoff picture going into 2025.
Yes, sir. My playoff picture going into 2025. I got, like I said, the Packers leading the NFC. They're going to have home field advantage. Going to have the bye week. Then I'm going with the Super Bowl champion Eagles at the second. Yes, sir. They're going to have the second seed. Then we're going to go on to the third seed. The 49ers will be right back. They'll have their best player back this year. They'll be fully healthy. Then we're going down to fourth. The worst division in football right now is going to be the Bucks winning the division. Yeah, I know, guys. Yeah, I know. Then we're going to move on to the first wild card seed. We're going with the Lions. Look. So the Packers, Lions, we all know this is the best division in football right now. It's going to be really tight. It's going to be tight the whole time. That division is going to be exactly how close it was last time. The only thing that pulls the Packers ahead is they just got a top 3 player in the NFL. Like, that's the only thing that pulls the Packers right ahead. Okay? You guys got me on that?
No, I got you. And the crazy part is, real quick, I mean, because y'all, the crazy part is, you're saying that one of them gonna be the 1 seed and one gonna be the 5 seed, right? It's crazy how, because it's gonna be tight. How week 17, week 18 can really determine whether you're gonna be home field advantage with a first round bye, or you're gonna be on the road every single game throughout the playoffs. Like that's crazy to me. But go ahead.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be that crazy, and I think like it's gonna come down to who's the best quarterback in the division. Who's gonna come down to who's the best player in the division, and it's gonna come down to Jordan Love on offense, and it's gonna come down to Michael Parsons on defense. And the reason I said the Lions, like they still have a really good team, but they lost all their coaches, so it's almost impossible for them to win the division. Then we got Caleb Williams coming in with Ben Johnson, an offensive mastermind. I'm guaranteeing this Bears team to make the playoffs. I'm guaranteeing it. Then with the last spot in the division, the wild card spot, we got the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, we got the Minnesota Vikings. Like we gotta respect their coach. Like Kevin O'Connell is one of the best coaches in the NFL. I said it all year. I said the Vikings, they're not like that. They're not like that. This guy himself, he put together a great game plan just to go win the game. You know what I'm saying?
Sam Darnold, yeah, with Sam Darnold.
With Sam Darnold. So now he has a guy that can really move around, and he has one of the best receiving corps in the NFL. I got it going like that. And the reason why I said the Packers are winning the NFC and I got them being number one is because of Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is that guy. 2 years ago, you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. Last year, Micah Parsons just played defensive end. That's the only position he played. 2 years ago, when he was moved around playing middle linebacker, outside linebacker, D-line, nose tackle, he was crazy. I think this defensive coordinator, he's going to move him around. He's going to be everywhere. And Micah Parsons, he's going to be on his way as the first defensive player of the year. I know you guys hate that. I know you guys don't like that because of TJ Watt, but yeah, be ready. Be ready for the Pack Nation. I'm on the Pack hype train. Matthew Golden will be the first great receiver from Texas. Yeah.
I got you. Who you got in the NFC Championship for the NFC?
Yes, sir. For the NFC Championship, it is going to be the Packers versus the Lions.
Okay, so we got the Packers. So we got an all NFC North championship with the Packers winning the conference. Now in the AFC, what is it looking like?
In the AFC, the number one, the first seed is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. That's self-explanatory. They have the best offensive quarterback of all time. All he does is play great in the regular season. Then we're moving on to the second seed, Patrick Mahomes. I think they're going to start off a little slow this year, but he's still going to be the best quarterback in the league. He's going to be a GOAT. They're going to be like 13-3. So a big chunk of the playoffs will run through Arrowhead still. Then we're moving on to the third seed. I got the Texans. Man, the Texans defense is scary, guys. Mm-hmm. Like the Texans defense is really they don't have any holes at any position on that defense. Then you got DeMarco Ryans calling the shots. Like the Texans will be really good. I'm guaranteeing that they win their division, and I'm guaranteeing CJ Stroud have a big bounce back year, huge bounce back year. He's going to be in MVP combos. Then I got the unpopular opinion. And the 4th seed, I think the Dolphins will win their division. Yes, sir. Everybody was shocked when they thought the Bills won the division. Take your glasses off, put them back on again, and listen to me. Yes, sir. You thought you didn't think the Bills were going to do what they did last year. They went all the way to the AFC Championship.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Exactly. So, like, this Dolphins team, we forget, like, things could change in 1 year. The Dolphins were hurt all year last year. We saw how bad the quarterbacks were playing. Yeah, Jerrick, keep scratching your head. Scratch this side of your head too. Yeah. We saw how bad the Dolphins were playing last year with no quarterback. It took them to week 18 to like not make the playoffs with no quarterback. Come on. Like, being fully healthy, this team fully healthy, Tyreek Hill fully healthy, Jalen Waddle fully healthy, scariest offense in the league still an offensive mastermind. Come on. It's not that hard of a division to win. I think the Dolphins will definitely win the division. Then moving on to the 5th seed, the first wild card seed, I got the Bengals winning. Like I said, Joe Burrow is going to have an MVP season. He's had a full offseason with his offense. Everybody's happy. They're just worried about winning now. They know how to win. He's the only quarterback that can knock off Patrick Mahomes. Expect for the Bengals to have a bounce back season. I'm guaranteeing that. Moving on to the second wild card spot, I'm going with the Harbaugh brothers. Yes, sir. He did it last year, first year in the NFL. Now that he got comfortable, he got settled in. He got Justin Herbert, who's absolutely slinging the rock. Like, they got Najee Harris, who all they want to do is run the ball. The Chargers will be right back in the same position. They're going to be in the wild card spot. And then, hey, I'm in here with my best boys. These are my guys. I love them, man. So I'm not going to show them no hate. Hey, Mike Tomlin, he's the great coach, bro. Like, everybody, they always want to disrespect him. They always want to play him. He will be in the playoffs again. He will have the last spot in the wild card spot. So anybody who doesn't have the Steelers in the playoff picture, you're crazy and you don't know football. They just added Aaron Rodgers to the team. They had a good draft. They had a solid draft. Like, come on, they had DK Metcalf now. Come on.
So you scared me during the vote, because in the vote you had a third in the division. So I'm surprised. So you got all 3 teams in the North making the playoffs.
Yeah. We've been saying this for a while, but that's the best division in football too. That's most definitely been one of the best divisions for the past 4 years. Like, most definitely. So there's no surprise there.
Who you got in the AFC Championship now?
Yes, sir. The AFC Championship. I'm going to switch it up this time. I know Lamar has enough to get through. I know he has enough to get through this time. He's going to make it to the Super Bowl. He's going to try everything he can. His team's going to try everything he can. And then, like I said, the Texans got a scary defense, bro. This Texans is going to knock somebody off. They're going to really, like, scare somebody. And I think C.J. Stroud going to have a big bounce back year. And I got C.J. Stroud and the Texans going to the Super Bowl for the first Super Bowl. Yeah, DeMarco Ryan he got that team right. I like that rebuild he did with that team. I love it, actually.
So wait. So you got those two. So you got the Texans and the Ravens, right? And you got the Lions and the Packers.
Yes, sir.
Who's going 1-on-1 in the Super Bowl?
I got the Packers winning in the NFC, and then I got the Ravens winning in the AFC.
Okay, so Ravens, Packers, and then you got the Ravens winning the Super Bowl, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right, that's his Super Bowl. That's his playoff picture. All right, so he got the Ravens and the Texans in the AFC Championship. He got the Lions and the Packers in the NFC Championship. Then he has the Ravens versus Packers. He has the Ravens defeating the Packers in the Super Bowl. All right, Jerrick, what's your playoff picture?
All right, that's a very interesting playoff picture. It's crazy that Michael Parsons trade. Hey, like we said, that Michael Parsons trade is supposed to put them in the Super Bowl, and Rell put them in the Super Bowl.
That's true. That's very true.
I respect it. But here we go. So we're going to start with the NFC. Number 1 seed, I have the Eagles. I think that some of the other teams in the conference are getting a little bit too much hype and love, and I don't know why we're not talking about the defending Super Bowl champs. I really don't. Like, the most that we're talking about is Jalen Hurts a guy, or is he a bus rider? That's the only thing we're hearing. We're not talking about how Saquon's come off a great year. Is he going to have another great year? We're just not talking about them enough. They've lost some pieces on the defense, but honestly, like the way Howie Roseman drafts and the way he signs players, they have guys on that roster that's going to fill in and do their job. And mind you, they're still bringing back Jalen Carter, who's only getting better. Like, this is what, his 4th year? I think he's going to be a third year. Like, it's only his 3rd year. He's looking very, very scary. So I have the Eagles being the 1st seed in the conference. 2nd seed, I have the Detroit Lions. I know there's a lot of talk about them losing Ben Johnson, losing Aaron Glenn. A lot of people question marks beside Jared Goff. But let's still look at the talent that they have on that team. This is still a very, very talented team. You have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta. Like this offense, when we talk about talented offenses, this, in my opinion, is the most talented offense on paper. And then on defense, you're getting Aiden Hutchinson back. That's big. Like whenever Aiden Hutchinson went down, there was a big shift in their defense. And they had a lot of other injuries on defense. So getting Aiden Hutchinson back, hopefully having a healthy team this whole year, I still have them winning their division and being the second seed. Third seed, I have the LA Rams. I like the Rams team. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really do. And I think that Jared Verse, he's gonna be a dog in this league. And I think that he's gonna turn into one of those guys and he's gonna take a leap this year. And he's gonna be a game wrecker. He's gonna be making plays. And then Sean McVay. Why are we count him out? We can't count him out. You just can't. Matthew Stafford, he's still, even at his age, he's still making crazy throws, crazy accuracy. You still have Puka Nacua. Hopefully he can be healthy this whole year. And then you're bringing in Devontae Adams, who are you going to focus on? Who are you going to double team? And then you still have Kyron Williams. And we know how much he loves to hand the ball to Kyron Williams. So this team, I think, will win their division, and then we'll get that third seed. Fourth seed coming out of the NFC South, I have the Falcons. I do have the Falcons. If you look at last year, the Falcons they came down to those last couple of weeks with Michael Penix, and they were still in contention. Like it was them and the Bucks in contention to win the division and get that last playoff, spot because they won the division. So I think that Michael Penix Jr. is going to have a pretty good year this year. I really do. I think that it's time for Kyle Pitts to make that jump that we've been expecting out of him. If you look in history, I never realized you making that face. If you look in history, another guy who didn't make a jump to year 4, year 5 is Antonio Gates. And we talk about Antonio Gates as one of the greatest tight ends ever. He's on that list of the great tight ends of all time. So I think Kyle Pitts is going to make that jump, having a quarterback that's going to get him the ball. Okay, if you look at Kyle Pitts quarterbacks, Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, Taylor Heineke. He had Kirk Cousins last year who coming off of Achilles injury, not really looking too good. Like now he has a quarterback that I feel like is going to get him the ball. You also have guys like Drake London, still got Bijan Robinson. That defense got better. They drafted players to that defense. They signed Jesse Bates last offseason. The defense is going to be better this year, and then the offense is going to be better, and they're going to win the division. So that brings me to my wild card spots. 5, I have the 49ers. Like you mentioned, they have the easiest schedule this year. They're going to win the games they're supposed to win, and then they're still going to be in contention to win their division. I do think so. I think they're going to have a good record this year, but I think that the Rams are just going to slightly beat them for the division. 6th seed, I have the Commanders. I'm still going to put some respect on them. I still have confidence in Dan Quinn. I think Jaden Daniels is still going to have a good season. He might not have the season he had last year, but I think he's going to do what it takes to win games. Like you said, they won a lot of close games last year. There's talks about look at the quarterbacks and the team that they beat last year. I think that this year they're going to get the job done. I do. They got the contract situation, Terry McLaurin. They brought in Deebo Samuel. So I think that they got him some weapons, something to work with, and I think that they're going to find their way to be back in the playoffs. And then at the 7th and final spot, I have the Chicago Bears. I think that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson is going to be a nice pair. I think this is going to be one of those duos that we talk about for the next 10 years. I really do. I think that this is going to be maybe not the same level at all, but this will be one of those Mahomes, Andy Reid combinations when it comes to head coach and quarterback. We all know the quarterback comparison when it comes to Caleb Williams. Everybody coming out of college, we're comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. We all know that. Everybody says he's the next generational talent. I still do believe that he can be that next generational talent, and now he has a coach that's going to bring it out of him. The coach is going to make the game easier for him, which I think that last year the coach was not able to do for him. With that being said, in the NFC Championship, I have the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. I do think that Detroit will get over that hump and they will make it to the NFC Championship. And then, of course, the Eagles, like I said, we have to put respect in their name. Like, I don't think that people are talking about the Eagles enough, and this is a team that I do not want to see if I was the rest of the NFC. And then winning that matchup, I have Philadelphia Eagles. I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles will be making their return back to the Super Bowl. Now, with that being said, now it's time to go on to the AFC. Number one, I have the Bills. Rell had the Bills, not even winning the division, but number one, I have the Bills. Josh Allen, he's a phenomenal quarterback. He really is. And then when you look at, I expect Keon Coleman to have a better season than he did last year. There's a lot of hype going into the last season. He underperformed. I do think that this year Josh Allen will get the best out of him and will make him into that number one guy. You still have Khalil Shakir. You still have Dawson Kincaid, James Cook. Like, they still have guys on their offense to be around Josh Allen, who is a phenomenal quarterback. And then defensively, they drafted some defensive guys. They brought in Joey Bosa, who we know is not the same guy, but I think that he will help out that defense, and they will get the number one seed in the AFC. Second seed, I have the Chiefs. Rell said slow start maybe, but they're still going to win those games even with a slow start. We know Rashee Rice is going to be suspended 6 games, I believe. So he's going to miss some time. But when he comes back, I think that him and Mahomes are going to click, and Mahomes has something to prove this year. Mahomes had a down year last year, which is crazy to say because they still made it to the Super Bowl. But there's a lot of question marks because of referees and these close games. People aren't remembering who Patrick Mahomes is. I have the Chiefs finishing second. And then third, I have the Baltimore Ravens, the regular season champions. I think that Baltimore will win the division. I don't think they'll have a better record than the Bills or the Chiefs, but they will win the AFC North, and they will get that third spot. Fourth seed, I have the Texans. I mean, it's clear, obvious they're going to win their division. I don't see anybody else posing a threat to them. They will win their division, but when it comes to all the division winners, I have them as the weakest when it comes to those 4. Starting off with the first wildcard spot, I have number 5, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do think that this year, when it comes to week 17, week 18, like y'all talk about the NFC North and how it's going to come down to those last couple of weeks, I think when it comes to winning the division, the AFC North, it's going to come down to those last couple of weeks. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we played the Baltimore Ravens team. So it's gonna be one of those wild ones. And I have the Pittsburgh Steelers having that first wild card spot. At number 6, I have the Denver Broncos. I like Bo Nix. I really do. I'm a big on Bo Nix. I even said last year, coming out of the draft, that between him and Drake May, those are the 2 most pro-ready quarterbacks in terms of immediately going to have success. And we saw that, especially him having Sean Payton. They went out, got R.J. Harvey for him, went out, got Evan Ingram. Cortland Sutton, we had a lot of question marks about him, but with a quarterback that can really get the ball down there to him, he looks like a number 1 guy. And then defensively, they have the best defense in football. There's not even no need to discuss about it. I mean, they added 2 great players from San Francisco, from that great defense to go alongside with still having Patrick Surtain. They have the best defense in football. And then the 7th seed, I have the New England Patriots. When I look around the AFC, I see a lot of pretenders, honestly do. Like the Cincinnati Bengals, for example. I just don't see how they're going to have a good season. I don't. The Miami Dolphins, I don't see them having a good season. I don't. So when you look around, I think that New England will take that spot that the Chargers had last year, and they will get that last wild card spot. And then going on to the AFC Championship, I have a rematch of last year. I have the Bills and the Chiefs. Being quite honestly, I don't see who's going to beat the Chiefs. I don't see who's going to beat the Bills in the playoffs. When it comes to playoff football, before getting to playing Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen is a good quarterback. Josh Allen shows up. Josh Allen wins games. Like, we talk about Josh Allen's lack of playoff performances, but we only talk about it when it comes to playing Patrick Mahomes. When he plays Lamar Jackson and other quarterbacks, he has great games. But with that being said, I have the Chiefs winning the AFC. And that will bring us to a Super Bowl rematch of last year. I do. And no back-to-back. I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. The dynasty will get back on track. I think that Mahomes has a lot to prove this year, and I just can't see the Philadelphia Eagles beating them twice in a row. The Chiefs got better in the areas they need to get better in, and those areas just happen to be where when they're good in those areas is when Mahomes is his best and when they're winning Super Bowls. So I do think that after this offseason and motivated Mahomes is scary, guys. Motivated Mahomes is scary. We saw what happened the last time he lost. in a meaningful game. When he lost to Joe Burrow, he came back the next season and tore the league up. So having that disappointing performance in the Super Bowl, like that was a blowout. You have to realize that was a blowout. He's had a whole offseason to sit there and realize that he got embarrassed in the biggest game of the last season. So he will come back. He will have a great season, and they will go on to win the Super Bowl. So that is my playoff picture.
All right, so we got the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. We got the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, and of course, you already know I got the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. But this is my playoff picture. All right, so looking in the NFC, I have the Eagles being number one. I'm gonna have the 49ers being number two. I think the 49ers having the easiest schedule will allow them to win their division for sure. Then I got the Bucks at number three. Look, the Bucks pretty much they won this division the past 4 years. Right, so I'm not gonna bet against Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield to win the NFC South. All right, and then I'm still gonna stick with my guns, and I'm gonna pick the Bears to win this division. Look, the Packers just got better, no doubt about it. With Michael Parsons, the Lions are still the Lions. I mean, they lost coaches, but we gonna see. But I'm gonna stick with my guns. I ain't scared. Come on, I'm putting the Bears to win this division. All right. And then looking at the wild card spots, the Lions are gonna be the fifth seed. Like Rell said, I think Rell said that the AFC North is the best division, but the NFC North is right there. I think all three of these teams can definitely get into the playoffs. I got the Lions at the fifth seed, Packers at the sixth seed. All right, so 5 and 6 gonna be AFC North teams. Then my last seed gonna be the Rams. All right, I got the Rams. And the reason why I moved the Rams down, 'cause I used to have it number five. Right, I thought them and the 49ers would be neck and neck. But with this Matthew Stafford injury, I don't know if he gonna miss some time. Therefore, they lose some games. You know what I'm
They
saying?
said
So
he's. Are you saying like down the line or at the beginning of the
I'm
season?
saying down the line.
Okay, down the line. Okay, because they just came out and said that he's good to go week one. He's starting. So I
Yeah,
see what you're
that's
saying.
cool. Yeah, he gonna play, but it's a back injury. He's 37 years old. Like going through the year, he's gonna get hit. You know what I'm saying? So how will he react to that? I don't know. So I'm scared he might miss some time. And Sean McVay, if he's smart, might say, you know what, if you do get hurt, we gonna extend your time to sit out because we need you for the playoffs. Right. I think Sean McVay is good enough to still get them to the playoffs if Matthew Stafford missed time, but they really need him for the playoffs. So I got the Rams being the seventh seed. And then and that kind of changes things, bro. Because my NFC Championship was the Eagles and the Rams, but because I don't want to just bank on Stafford being healthy, 'cause I don't know how that's going to go. So I've changed it, and now my NFC Championship is going to be the Eagles, and I'm gonna go ahead and say the Lions. I'm gonna say the Lions, the Eagles and the Lions. All right, I everything changed, bro. That Michael Parsons trade and Matthew Stafford's injury has changed everything about my playoff picture. Um, it's originally the Rams, but I'm gonna go with the Lions, bro. I do think they can get there, but they're going to end up losing to the Eagles. And then in the AFC, I got the Bills winning the conference. All right, I think Josh Allen, look, he got a chip on his shoulder. He won the MVP, but he don't care about that. You know what he wants, right? He wants that Super Bowl appearance / Super Bowl ring. So I got the Bills winning the conference. I got the Chiefs being second. Once again, put some respect on Mahomes and Andy Reid's name. Third, I got the Ravens. All right, and the reason why I put the Ravens at third is because I do think them and the Steelers are going to be close. Like, I don't think the Ravens going to have by far the best schedule in the AFC North. I think it's going to be, like Jerrick said, it could come down to that Week 18 matchup, which means that their record can't be that crazy. I don't think the Steelers' record going to be that crazy. I got the Steelers winning 10 to 12 games, so that means they'll be like 12, 13, maybe 14, right? Maybe 14, but 12, 13 probably for the Ravens. They also have a tough stretch to open the season off, for people that don't know. So that's also why I think they'll be the third seed. Then I got at the fourth seed the Texans, right? Fourth seed Texans win the conference. People are saying that the Jaguars gonna win the division. I'm seeing people trying to force somebody else to win that division, but the Texans are by far the best team. Like Rell said, that defense is absolutely scary. All right, led by D'Amico Ryans. And then fifth seed Broncos. I think the Broncos and Chiefs are going to be close and neck as well for their division. I almost made the Broncos win their division, but it's the respect I have for Mahomes and Andy Reid. I can't have them. Yes, I do. I did. At one point, I was like, because during the vault, I even told Logan, bro, I want them to win this division so bad, but it's the respect I have for Mahomes and Andy Reid. I just can't do it. All right, then at the sixth seed, I got the Steelers. Look, everybody's saying we're gonna be 8-9. We're gonna be 8-9. We're gonna miss the playoffs. How y'all do this every single week? Like, what is wrong with people? Like something's really wrong with people. They are preying on Mike Tomlin's downfall because every single year going into the season, we always say they're gonna be below 500, they're gonna miss the playoffs, and what do? They go above 500, they make the playoffs. So we keep doing this every year. Go ahead, keep on doing it. They're gonna make the playoffs. And then the last seed, the 7th seed, a team that neither one of y'all mentioned. I got the New England Patriots making the playoffs. All right, I do believe it's a team that can squeeze into the playoffs once again. Mike Vrabel raises their floor, right? Also raises their ceiling. Josh McDaniels, and this gonna sound weird, but a Super Bowl winning, a consistent Super Bowl appearing offensive coordinator being paired with Drake May, who Drake May, if we're just talking talent for talent, between Drake May and Tom Brady, talent for talent. Hear me out. I'm not talking about greatness. I'm not talking about that end of game, that dog that Brady had in him in the last 2 minutes. I'm just talking pure talent. Go on the field, throw the ball around. You can argue that Drake is more talented than Brady. Also, Drake brings that running ability. Brady didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? So he just has more at his disposal. So I'm not saying he's better than Brady by any means. I just mean talent to talent. He probably has the most talented quarterback that he's ever had in his career. All right. So that is my
we both actually had the pictures. I have the pictures at 7th as well.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't. Okay. My bad. We got pages too. So then the AFC Championship, I do have the Chiefs and the Bills again. All right. Once again, I'm not banking on Lamar Jackson to get to the AFC Championship. That's like saying Mike Tomlin is gonna miss the playoffs again. It's like me saying that Lamar getting to the AFC. Now he did get to the AFC Championship a couple years ago, but I don't see it happening this year. And then I talked about respect, but I just feel like at some point. Josh Allen got to get it done at some point. And this is and Jerrick, look, if he don't get it done this year, when will he ever get it done?
He won't.
Right?
That's the thing.
So
He won't. This year is him and Lamar's last chance, and Mahomes is going to close the book on them. And then we're going to start talking about the Drake Mays and the Bo Nicks, and it's going to be their time. I see what you're saying.
So in my tiers, I said the ghost of playoff past, right? And the question was, will Josh Allen beat Mahomes? That's the question going into the year. But I do think in the playoffs, Josh Allen will get the job done. So I got the Bills and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And then, mama, there goes that man. Winning back-to-back Super Bowl MVP. The Eagles will win again. Fly, Eagles, fly. Rain, sleet, or snow. Eagles train to go. Y'all know all the sayings, all right? You know, I called my boy Jay Hurts, too, the other day. Look, I ain't really calling him, but just go with it. All right? I called my boy Jay Hurts the other day, and I said, Jay Hurts, they talking about you, bro. They've been talking about you all offseason. What you going to do? And you know what Jay Hurts do. He always clip farm and stuff like that. He's like that off the field, too, and off the camera. Right, not just on the camera, off the camera, but he said, hey man, Jay Bess, you know, I can show him better than I can tell him. I said, okay. I said, all right, you know what I'm saying? All right, that's what he said. So, you know, he always oil farmer, always clip farming, you know what I'm saying? So my boy Jay Hurts, man, he about to go ahead and run this thing back, and we'll be a back-to-back Super Bowl champs, all right? But that's our playoff picture going into the 2025 NFL season.